restore the food and nutrition program. That would be 60% in the middle school, 40% in high school.
We did feel that, we talked about this, and we felt that was important because we heard so much from the public, and we heard so much from the students, that if people were gonna pass an override to support the programs, that was a program that if we had the ability to do it, we wanted to reinstate it.
And you have the space.
Yes, because we'll have to relocate a classroom.
Yes.
How does that fit into,
Good answer.
and how does that fit into our list of,
Restoring.
it's
It's a restoration.
okay, so just for the public on the
Yep,
list
we're
that
going
we're
right off the list.
publicizing,
Right,
that it
yes.
goes under restoring?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So will it?
So it'll alleviate study halls?
Well, we
Sorry,
did-
I'm jumping the gun.
With the resources provided to us from the override, there should be no kids in study halls in the school. There may be definitely not in the middle school. There may be a 1 or 2 in the high school per period, but that would not be a resource issue. It would be a scheduling issue.
Okay.
So this, oh, go ahead, Dave.
So is this, would be similar to the foods program as it used to be?
Yes.
So chef's class?
Well, I think we want to
Update.
reshape
Just
it a
That was
little.
popular class, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not saying it
Yeah.
won't be something like the chef's class, but
But we definitely want more of a nutritional twist to it.
Especially at the middle
They'll
school.
still cook,
level,
Dave.
nutritional twist.
Who would be teaching it?
they'll still cook.
Would have to post that
Yeah,
position.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to talk about this?
Okay.
one?
Don't jump the gun.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then with some of the 2.6 of the
Core.
the core program, we would like to start a new program both in the middle and the high school in theater arts. It would be part of the English department, and it has a very strong writing component to it. This would be the beginning of a program that, if the resources were available, we would like to expand in the future. So in the high school, we would like to offer 2 courses, one called Theater Arts and Speech and one called Basic Acting. And in the middle school, 2 sections of one course called the Introduction to Theater Arts. We feel that our music and arts program is outstanding in this school. There are a lot of area schools that have programs like this. We certainly have the talent in our community, and we want to build upon that. I think it's something that's that has been missing in Georgetown, and it also is an interdisciplinary course, because there would be components of music and art and English in it, and it's something that NEASC is looking forward to us expanding. So if this is approved tonight, it will be in my 5-year report to NEASC.
And that also goes to restoring.
No, that
Or
would
is
be
that
one.
state?
That would be one of the.
Well, I guess it alleviates the study hall, which.
That, yeah,
Yes.
that just
It's
just
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 what
so,
study
just so
hall is.
people
That's,
understand.
I'm nervous that people are
That,
sitting
no, we don't
back
want people saying, "Oh no, they added all this stuff." No, we're doing
One of our
exactly
goals-
what's in the plan. But the major goal, well, we had 2 major goals for these things we're talking about. One is to mitigate accreditation, okay, because they were saying there was not enough programming for the number of students who were in the school. So this allows us to deal with that. But we also are using it because it now will reduce class sizes, right? Because now there's more things available to distribute the kids across. And the other thing is, it'll help us with no study halls.
I do want to make one thing perfectly clear, though, that these 2 electives in the high school would not count towards satisfying the English requirement in the high school. Still have to take English 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this would be more like our social studies electives.
It's an elective.
Okay.
Right. Yes, Dave?
I totally support this, because I think what we've seen in the last 3 years with the number of kids involved with the musical and
The
spring,
play, oh, yeah.
it's
I agree.
incredible. I think this would only make it even better.
Right,
Yeah.
and it'll give kids an option, for something different and not being in study hall.
It'll be very popular.
You
Yeah.
think
Well,
it'll be
it-
popular?
it-
Yeah.
Very popular.
Okay, great.
Now, do we need to vote?
Yes, I think you need to take a vote on this.
Okay.
This,
Basically
this would
amending
be
the programs.
a supplement to the high
Programs.
school program of studies.
Okay. Just stop me if I start saying something I should. The chair will entertain a motion to
Approve.
approve the change to the program of studies? Or
Addition.
Addition to the program of studies for the high school, which will include theater arts and speech, as well as basic acting, and for the middle school, introduction to theater arts.
Great, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Great.
So before Peter.
I'm
Oh, go ahead.
wondering if we have to take a vote on food and nutrition, because off the top of my head, I
Is it
probably
not
should have,
in-
I don't know if I removed it or not this year.
Well, it would be easy to take a vote.
Right, why don't we just take it
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
so the chair will entertain a motion to reinstate the foods program
Into the program.
into the program of studies as outlined tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, motion carries.
So next meeting, on the
Thank
27th, what we'd like to do
Very,
is we'd like
very
to
nice.
come back, Mary Ellen and Peter, and we'd like to lay out for you what the plan is for the electives at the middle school, what grades, and then what else we're adding with this override money, specifically so that everybody's clear on exactly what's being done and what's being gained as a result of the approval of the override. The other two things before Mary Ellen starts, I just wanted to let you know about is we are currently looking at our inventory of our maintenance equipment, because one of the things in the override was that we would have some money to upgrade that. And then what we will do is we'll begin to look at our long-range plan so that, you know, we are not in a situation where we're just adding machinery, we're actually adding machines that are going to then be used in, you know, for a longer term period. And then the other thing is, we're developing the specifications and getting quotes and bids, or whatever it is we're doing, whatever the formal process is we need to do, to get the replacement of our,
Right, thingamabobs.
the
The
Carol speak
thingamabobs.
again, right? To be sure that we are getting ready to, as quickly as possible, start purchasing our hardware for the two computer labs that, again, the override money is going to replace. And as I said in my blog, it's really much easier for Peter to write the 5-year report that we had to do to NIASCA effective today, to be able to, and I will be sure that you have a copy of that in your packet for the 26th. I know for myself, you know, I read it today and I said, wow, you know, it's pretty impressive, you know, to see over the course of the 5 years what we were able to do with the limited money we did have, and now the override money really is, you know, that much better to be able to explain how we're addressing those things. So kudos to Peter, he did a nice job on the report and his committee that he worked with. But, you know, I have to say, I think NIASC should be pleased that the reasonable progress is being made. The only thing, of course, we couldn't really address were a lot of the building issue things, the things that relate to space. But in terms of the other areas, you'll see how Peter breaks down each of the findings and describes what we've done.
Did you have a question?
I did. Do you know what kind of computers you're ordering and when you're going to order them for the new labs?
Well, I'm negotiating
Old
right
labs.
now with some companies, but can't believe I'm gonna say this.
If it's secret, you don't have to tell
No,
them.
this is a
No,
hard
it's-
sell for him, that's why it's.
The M
Is he
word.
gonna say a Mac?
He might be.
He might be
He
saying
might
that.
be saying that.
We're looking at that. I do have a quote from Apple. It does fit somewhat under the budget, but I don't know if the software, if we're gonna be able to have software to run on it.
Yeah, that's a consideration, and a consideration also is whether it's Apple or PCs, whether or not we can procure them through one of the current state
State bids.
bids. If we can't, we will have to go out and do a formal RFP.
The
That can be
quote,
both
the
good.
two
But would that
quotes
give you
I
enough
have
time to
are
get that
are
done
off
and
the
get-
state.
Yeah, because we have the
Get
summer.
them to school?
We have the summer.
Peter,
Yeah.
have you found in the industry that the PC is the architectural world mostly, and the engineering world? Have you found
I
that?
have, yes.
Because it is.
yeah. And in the Mac is in the graphic design world, so it really makes sense to get Macs in the graphic design lab and PCs in the other. But our current software that we use, which is pretty expensive, is PC based. So I don't know how we could manage the money where we could be able to afford that, but we're trying to be creative.
All right.
We're working on it.
Okay, thank you.
I just had two things
Yeah.
in response to that. When we're talking about things that we're adding, everything that we're talking about is right off of the override
Yeah,
list.
absolutely.
So people should be
Absolutely.
comfortable knowing that's where it's coming from. And secondly, with the NIASC letter, there were a few questions floating around that the NEASC letter was dated 2006, and a little bit of confusion because that was 5 years ago. I don't think necessarily some people in the public realize that it's a 10-year cycle. So we're up in, again in another 5 years for our 10-year review. So these letters that we have to send are just part of that cycle. That's why there's, as someone put, an old letter floating around because it was our last review.
Yeah. Sure.
I just
Yeah,
want to be clear.
but that's not the most recent letter.
Right.
That was actually the first letter in response to,
The visit.
when the visiting committee comes, they give us a report, but that report goes to NEASC, and then NEASC votes on it. So then they send us a letter. And then we've had many,
Oh,
It
yeah.
seems like you're doing at least one
Most
a year.
recent one was
we
the
have,
threat.
we've had a lot of special reports.
So just so that the public knows that.
Wellsman threatened us.
Yes, they
They're
did.
downgrading.
That's right, they did.
Pam, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I just wanted to add that my son will be very, very happy about the food selected. That's the first thing he knows about it. In fact, the food selected.
Oh, that's good.
He wouldn't even be taking it himself because he's going to high school. He was thinking of his 2 younger brothers, and
Wow, very nice.
Great.
thank you for bringing that back.
Oh, very good.
Just
Yes, Dave.
a quick question. The one thing that I'd like to have clarification on, whether it's tonight or at the next meeting, is on the user fees
Yes,
for
Yes.
sports and activities, whether there's going to be a family cap.
there is. We voted on a family cap.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry. You
We
already
did.
voted on that?
We said 1,500, we kept the same family
Okay,
cap.
thank
Yeah.
you.
And we'll get, at the next meeting, we'll sit down and go through more of the fee, at one of the upcoming meetings, we'll talk about what the fee structure will look like.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I thought we already did that.
Well, I think for the public, just to disseminate that, because the override passed.
Okay.
We had 2 sets. If the override didn't pass, it
Right,
would be
right,
this
right.
and this,
Right.
and no family cap. And with
Okay.
it passing, it's a different set of fees and a family cap. I
Okay.
just can't recall the exact number, so I don't want to sit here and
That's
say
fine.
a number.
We can help you, Ann, if we
We
need.
can.
All right, so that will conclude my, oh, no, sorry. One important thing, teacher appreciation, thank you. I just want to, I don't think you can imagine how much food the PTA can produce in a little bit of time, but I don't know that the public knows that every year for Teacher Appreciation Week, the PTA somehow coordinates a wonderful luncheon, actually kind of a brunch. There's a combination of lunch and breakfast, but you know, it's such a nice thing they do that I just want to thank them publicly. I know the staff talks to the principals and always comments about how much it means to them. That's a little token, but it goes a long way. So thank you, Barbie, for helping to coordinate that, and everyone who contributed food. It is greatly appreciated. Now I'm done.
Okay. And then Mary Ellen's doing the
Mary Ellen.
grade 6
I
team.
can start with this on this side and one over here. Okay. I'll start as we're having a little bit of technical difficulty here, so.
Typical teacher, she'll start.
Carol had asked me to come tonight to talk about, oh, great, thank you. To talk about middle school teaming. In particular to the grade 6. What do I have going on up here?
Something maybe, yeah.
There we go, okay.
Just do one light. Do you want to get the light?
Thank you, okay. So grade 6 middle school teaming, in particular to grade 6. As we know, we have a unique year this year with our incoming 6th grade class of 155 students. Oh. Just one, thank you, so I can read.
Oh, no, that's all they have, it's like one option.
Okay, thank you.
There you
Okay,
go.
so, as you know, we have 155 fifth graders entering our school next year, and we would like to be prepared for them in a new model of middle school teaming. What I thought I'd do tonight is to give you a brief history with middle school teaming and the middle school student, the whole child in general, and then at the end of this, I'm going to present to you the teaming that we'll be doing at middle school. Middle school, the whole child now is based on the millennial adolescent learner. Our children who are at the middle school level do have their own title for their generation. These are children who have been born between 1980 and 2003. They are the most affluent and ethnically diverse generation in our American history. Teenage millennials are mostly children of baby boomers, and our preteen millennials are mostly children of Generation Xers. So on that note, since I've mentioned Generation Xers, just on a fun note, this is the Generation X culture.